Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of North, Central, and South America, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations, looking at the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, I'm just back to speak on the situation in Texas. I'm a little bit late. I would like to have uploaded this video a couple of days ago. I put this video, 2 or 3 days ago, but I've had a few issues. And what I've noticed in the last 6 months, or the last 4 or 5 months since the situation, October the 7th, and the small hats, I've just noticed, how can I put it, the activity of these demons, it's getting wilder. So, I've faced a lot of false accusations and so on and so forth in the last 4 months. Has coincided with the situation that happened in the land of the small hats, October the 7th. And obviously with that, this is directing us to World War III. And, this demonic activity out there is going to increase. And we're heading to a time called Jacob's Trouble. This is 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's Trouble. And we're warning people out there that, things are going to get real bad. We're going to go into World War III. We've got, the idea of civil war brewing in America. And there are many other things going on around the world. And false prophets are, bugging out even more than usual. And we're going to head into a time called Jacob's Trouble. And, these demons on these people, they're going to be really bugging out. There's going to be a lot of madness going on. Don't forget, Scripture talks of a time like never been seen before, Matthew chapter 24. And that's the time we're heading to. In a year's time, you've got 2025, we'll be, well into 2025. And by then, we expect World War III to be underway. We expect civil war to be taking place in America. And, to just be a matter of the MOTB whenever they decide to fit that in somewhere along the line. So we're moving fast. People out there, they don't want to take this warning seriously. They take it lightly. They listen to it as entertainment, and then they go back to their lives. They're planning their lives for 2025. But a lot of plans that you make in 2025 are not actually going to take place. We're going to be in the midst of a World War III. So, for example, there'll be no one flying in planes, because we'll have, there may be certain areas you'll be able to catch a flight, a quick flight to here or there, but all in all, we're going to be in the midst of World War III, civil war. We keep telling you that there's only months left until the great day of judgment, the great day of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, in which all the planet, everybody out there is going to receive a judgment, great tribulation, and so on and so forth, great trouble all across the world. This is the time of a visitation of the Most High. And, these people out there that have these demons on them, that allow the demons to, they live out whatever the demon is directing them to do, even though they don't realize what they're doing. All these people are going to get judged, and we're heading to that time very quickly. So, I've been a little bit late over the last few months. I've had a lot of issues and a lot of false accusations. And what's it's showing me is that, this time of tribulation, we are the prophets. So we have the warning early. We have it in advance. And, why is Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai showing me? Because obviously this is what he's about to do to the rest of the world. We told you 2024, the Most High is going to turn up the heat. And, as soon as it struck 2024, we've seen earthquakes, we've seen World War III ramping up, escalating, US and UK airstrikes in the Middle East. Hezbollah are increasing the attacks on the small hats. We've had the International Court of Justice are ruling against what the small hats are doing. And we're seeing, breakups in opinion. in the European community. So this is all prophecy. This is all just in January. Today's the 31st, the last day of January. We've had 1 month already of 2024, and we've had all these things. Now we've got civil war brewing in America, and obviously we're waiting for financial crash, and escalation in inflation, and so on and so forth. So things are going to get real bad by the end of the year. Maybe like 6 months ago, a year ago, the men of the Lord announced that you've only got months left. Only months, not years, just months left until Yahweh Shai returns and the great day of judgment. And since then you've got to think a year, 6 months, a year's gone by. And so now we're not telling you, 6, 12, 18, 24 months. I'm telling you 6, 12, 18 months. In 18 months time we'll be in July 2025. And by then, the way things are happening, the way things are developing, we expect the day of judgment to come by then. Obviously no man know the date or the hour, but we keep those keeping an eye on prophecy and watching. You're fully in the know. But you've seen this situation, over the weekend, developing in the southern border of America. And America, the Texas governor is pretty much going against the federal state. And then you've had 25, as you can see here, 25 individual states that are backing Texas, who are actually trying to block up the border, whereas the federal state, they seem to be letting in people by the droves, and they want to take down the fences, let people in, and Texas are arguing to put the border back up. So and this is something that we've gone into. You've seen the men of the Lord talking. People are just pretty much walking across the border, and the American government allowing it to happen. It seems like a battle between the Texas state and the federal government themselves. However, don't forget, the world is a stage. These elites, they want to bring in a great reset, new world order. They want to bring chaos, a breakdown in civilization, and then they want to produce the answer. And the answer is going to be a new empire based around the CBDC, a digital system, and the prophecy of the MOTB. So you've got to take these incidents with a pinch of salt. And even though it seems like the American government is split, the 25, 50 states are split over the issue when it comes to the border control. And most likely this is a planned event. And like I say, what the elites are going to do is bring a breakdown in civilization in order to offer you the new one. This is what's going to bring great tribulation, the time of Jacob's trouble. And that's why we're warning people out there, that they listen to these videos, they go back to their lives, they think, they plan their lives, and they cannot see them an end to the lifestyle they're living or the things they're doing. They're planning for the future, so on and so forth. But all that is going to go out the window very quickly. We're going to have a few false flag events throughout 2024, which is going to escalate the situation. And again, this is back to 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai turning up the heat. And so one of the things is world war, and one of the things is civil war and the MOTB. So looking at this situation, I mean, it's been spotted. People have mentioned there are a lot of people streaming across the border in their thousands. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I have heard something about in the last 2 to 3 years you've had like 6 million or so people, illegal immigrants crossing the border into America. And now it seems like they're pretty much dropping the border control. They're allowing people in, and this is going to add to the breakdown in society, and so on and so forth. So the elites are cooking something up for America, and we believe 2024 is the year in which we see Jacob's trouble develop. And it won't just develop in America, it will then develop all around the world. Especially when the crash of the economic system is brought about, another planned event. You see, everything is planned. Even this world war is planned, and obviously at some point, these plans are going to run away with themselves and become out of reach of these elites, and ultimately that's what's going to bring down this entire empire. And it's all going to conclude with the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, and the deliverance of the true Israelites, the elect only, a certain group of the Israelites. So we're heading to that time real quickly, and again, this is all back to prophecies, speaking of these particular things. Now, just looking at this situation with America, Babylon the Great, when you look in the Bible speaks of every kingdom that is due to come to pass, over the last 2,000 to 3,000 years. And so, you've had the ancient Egyptian empire mentioned, which is actually called Mizraim. And you have the Babylonian, Medo-Persian empires, the Greek Empire, and the ancient Roman Empire. And now we're living in the revised Roman Empire, which is an accumulation of the philosophies of all these old ancient empires. So, this philosophy, the empire that we live in today, some of the philosophies that are pushed out there, some of the philosophies that people are living by, i.e. the democratic system, that's something that's brought from the Roman Empire. And then there are other things. Some things are brought from the ancient Egyptian Empire, which is actually called Mizraim. So you have America, a modern day place, which is spoken of in the Bible, but it's not spoken of or named as America. It's named as New Egypt or Mystery Egypt, the daughter of Babylon, and the revised Roman Empire. Well, not exactly in those terms, but the scripture talks of the ancient Roman Empire falling away, having a wound, seeming as if it had died away, and then obviously coming back to life when this deadly wound was healed. So now we're in this particular empire. And so, like I say, when you go through the scriptures, you're looking for America. You're actually looking not for the word America. You're looking for, like I say, the daughter of Babylon, Nineveh. America is the modern day version of all these old ancient empires. And it's, like I say, it's an accumulation of it. And that's why, this empire is quite confusing. They promote multiple idols, multiple gods, multiple types of worship, and the idea of this all comes from America, and it's pushed around the world. So with that's how you're going to find America in the Bible. Now looking at Isaiah chapter 19, this is a message to Egypt. Now the word Egypt is a Greek word, pretty much goes back to the meaning of bondage, and so this Greek word Egypt can be used to describe modern day America, or the modern day captivity that we live in. And it can also be used to describe the ancient Mizraim Empire, which people call today ancient Egypt. It's actually called Mizraim. So to keep it short and to the point, I'm going to try and make this video to the point. The philosophies of ancient Egypt, Mizraim, apply to the kingdom today, and so does the judgment, the plagues that Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua will bring. So Isaiah is speaking to Mizraim. So when you look up the word here, for example, it will take you back to Mizraim, but it also applies to the modern day Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, America. This is Isaiah 19:1. I'm sure you've heard this plenty over the weekend. This is the burden of Egypt. It says, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof. You have the deliverance of the Israelites, only the elect, a particular group of the Israelites, 2/3 of Israelites in America will perish and die in the great fire. And this deliverance is again going to be by chariot, so-called chariot, or a swift cloud, it's so-called UFO. But it says here, then I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians I will give over into the hand of the cruel Lord. A fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. So you notice the wizards, if you've been watching the WEF, their conference, we saw an example of the elites, or the representatives of the elites in this kingdom, and they were seeking charmers and them that have familiar spirits, and wizards. You had that particular person, I think it was a shaman, carrying out that particular ritual. But you go back to verse 2, says I will set Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So this represents a civil war, and that's what you're seeing developing, albeit man-made, to bring about chaos in order for the elites to bring out of it order. And so you're seeing the brewing, if you like, the development of civil war 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, happening in America. You've got all these people being let over the border. As you can see here, Texas border crisis escalates, state versus federal standoff deepens. And so eventually this is going to develop into a civil war. And that is something that has happened previously. Now I'm going to leave this article in the description box, the link for it. And this is just a little history on Mitzrayim, ancient Egypt, as you can see written here in yellow, Mitzrayim. And I'm not going to go into this full article right now. It's quite a long article, but if you want to catch up your history, you look in, for example, into these ancient empires, especially ancient Egypt, Mitzrayim, you're going to find things that relate to the modern day kingdom. One example is, modern day royalty in this particular kingdom are represented with the colours red, white and blue. You have the USA flag, the UK flag, the Australian flag, where these Edomites are. You've got France, for example, and there's a lot of red, white and blue. So that's something that royalty used to use, those particular colours in ancient Mitzrayim. So this is one way in which this particular kingdom is replicated in this time that we're living in now. So when you read through this particular article, like I say, there's a lot to go through, but I'm just going to pick out one particular bit, which is, we look here, for example, in this particular paragraph, it says the history of Egypt can be divided after the system of Sisi Manetho, using his scheme of 30 royal dynasties from Menez to Alexander. Although these groups of kings do not represent genealogically correct divisions and are often quite conventional. It says here this uncertainty of chronology, especially before 2000 BC, 2,000 years before Yahushua came about, roughly 3,000 years ago, so it forces the student to use that arrangement. Dynasties 1 to 6 are called the Ancient Empire, dynasties 11 to 13 the Middle Empire, and dynasties 18 to 26 the New Empire. So when you're studying ancient Egypt or Mitzrayim, it says here, because of the uncertainty of chronology, the uncertainty of particular orders, before the year 2000, it forces a student of Mitzrayim, which is what you are if you're studying this and you're taking this in, it forces you to split this empire into 26 dynasties. It says here 1 to 6 being called Ancient Empire, dynasties 11 to 13, the Middle Empire, and dynasties 18 to 26, the New Empire. So, like I say, I'll leave the link for this article in the description box, and you can see now it goes on to break down the ancient empire, and then it moves on to the Middle Empire, so on and so forth, the New Empire. And when you read at the top here of the Middle Empire, it goes on to say, after the 6th dynasty, so that's the Middle Empire now, it says the centralization of government broke down, and the nomarchs or counts became independent princes. The long wars which they waged over the possessions of the crown of the whole country led to establishment of 2 rival kingdoms. One, dynasties 9 and 10 at Heracleopolis, and other dynasty 11 at Thebes. The younger Theban family finally united Egypt again under one scepter. It says circa 2150 BC. So you can go on to read and study if you really want to study and get into the understanding of the ancient Egyptian empire, Mitzrayim. But what you're going to come across is understanding that when you move into the middle part of that particular empire, the 6th dynasty onwards, it says here the centralization of government broke down. And that's exactly what you're seeing happen to the modern day Egypt, Mystery Egypt, the New Egypt, which is America, Babylon the Great. Now, like I say, a lot of this situation is man-made. The elites are bringing about a chaos, and when society breaks down, they're going to bring a new order, the New World Order. Electronic devices under the skin, and from then onwards, you won't have your own money. You'll have a credit score system, and so you'll be only be able to buy and sell using this particular device under your skin, which is something that the Bible warns against. The prophet John, the revelator on the Isle of Patmos, spoke of this particular device and said, that there's, once you take it, there's no chance to repent. So these elites are bringing about this new system. They're bringing about chaos, and I believe that's a Roman philosophy, order out of chaos, and that's something that you see happening around us all the time. You have things like 9/11. That was chaos, and what did it do? It brought out a new order. And all of a sudden, from that day onwards, air travel changed, so on and so forth. And so we're in the time where we're seeing, major prophecies coming to pass. World War III is developing, and we're seeing civil war develop in America. And they're, bringing about these things on purpose. And, the elites hope to bring a new world order out of the chaos. And obviously, at some point, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is going to make the plans run away with themselves and escape these elites, and this is when their kingdom ultimately comes to an end. Once the nuclear ICBMs start to fly in America and they start to hit America, it will only take 1 hour for it to be destroyed. Now remember, we keep telling you months. You try and warn people, but if the spirit's not on them, they're not going to get it. They listen for entertainment and they walk away from the video and it doesn't sink in. You only have months. It is a matter of months before we see America, that huge land of America, that great proud land, is going to be totally annihilated and turned into a fire. Okay, so that that could be 6, 12, 18 months maximum until we see this happening. And so we're heading to that fast. So those of you that don't take this seriously, if I say to you, within 18 months you're going to see America turning into a lake of fire. You've already seen us speak of these prophecies, you see them come to pass, yet you can't take that warning seriously. Then the spirit is definitely not on you. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai has your eyes closed. Looking at commentary here, so going through Isaiah 19 is pretty easy to understand and explain it and break it down. You don't really need to go to a commentary. But sometimes when you go to commentaries, they are able to put something into words in a very nice way, and helps us to explain it to you. The Spirit can jump on you, but then it's learning how to be able to translate that, use the scriptures to speak it and explain it. You have children, for example. Children are born, they don't know how to speak, but spirits jump on them to want food, to want to play, to want to be, sometimes you're holding a child, the child wants you to let the child go, put me down, but they can't speak, they can't tell you to put me down. So what they do is they, make noise, they shuffle, and they act it out. And then you realize as an adult, okay, this child wants me to put the child down, so I put the child down on the floor, let them run around the living room. And this is all part of the process. Eventually the child learns to speak and is able to say to you, put me down, and you put the child down. Or I want food, so you give the child food. And it's pretty much the same thing. The Bible talks of once you've woken back up to this truth, to come into this as babies, as a newborn. And as a newborn, you have to throw away all your old philosophies, your thinking, your understanding, and you have to develop it from scratch, from brand new. And so now you have this new understanding on life, that the truth through the Spirit of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Now you need to be able to describe that and explain people the truth. So you need the scriptures, you need the Bible, you need the ancient Paleo Hebrew, you need the Greek, and you need to be able to translate that to English in order to speak it to people. And I like the way that it says here Barnes notes on the Bible. This is Isaiah 19:1. And I like this particular paragraph. Sometimes, like I say, I look at the commentaries just to see how they've worded. Even though you may understand the scripture, it's the way they word it. It can sometimes be beautiful. Now it says here, behold the Lord. This is a bold introduction. It says Yahweh. They've put Yahweh, and they're never going to want to give you the true name of Yahweh, because it really and truly, this kingdom is set up to hide the name from you. So, when they've written here Yahweh, the actual name is Yahweh, he to be, or he exists. When you go to Paleo Hebrew and you translate it back, he to be or he exists, you have the word Yahweh. It says Yahweh is seen advancing to Egypt. So this is the description of Isaiah 19. It says, behold the Lord. This is a bold introduction. Yahweh is seen advancing to Egypt for the purpose of confounding its idols. And see, in ancient Egypt, Mitzrayim was full of idols, and so is modern day America. When it comes to money, which is an idol, or you have these music stars, these sports stars, and these celebrities. And then, people are now in a world with social media where they even worship themselves. And their own idol is themselves, and they're constantly putting their pictures up. People out there living boring, normal, ordinary lives, and they think they're superstars. And so they upload all their images on social media, tell you what they're eating, tell you they've done this, they've done that, as if they're some sort of superstar. And this is the spirit of Egypt working on these people. And, it's turning themselves into idols. This is how far it's got. But it says here, Yahweh is seen advancing to Egypt for the purpose of confounding idols. And that's what's going to happen in the great day of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. It says, inflicting punishment. It says, the leading idea which the prophet wishes probably to present is. So, it's speaking of Isaiah, the prophet. He understands something through the Spirit. He's now using the words to try and present this idea and understanding to you. It says here, the leading idea which the prophet wishes probably to present is that national calamities, anarchy, commotion, revolution, as well as the physical sufferings, are under the government and direction of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So that's exactly what's happening. It happened in ancient Mizraim or ancient Egypt, and it's happening in the modern day Egypt now. We're in the time where great judgment, great tribulation is about to hit this earth. These people out here, they're not ready for it. They're not listening. They're not taking it seriously. And when it comes, it's going to smash you people right in the face. Prophecy is going to smash you in the face. When Jacob's trouble really kicks off and World War III, and we're seeing bombs getting thrown, all over the place. Most countries now are, looking at, drafting in people into the militaries. The NATO are doing nuclear drills in Europe as we speak, and so are Russia. They're going through nuclear military drills. So people are ramping up for it. We've got the situation going on in the Middle East, and now we've got the border crisis situation in America. And so ultimately what Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is doing is putting the spirit on the elites to fulfill their plan, to bring about chaos, to bring this new world order. And Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is going to cut it short, just as he thinks he's accomplished it. That's when the great day of the Lord comes. So, all roads point to civil war taking place in America. Just looking it up here, for example, you go to the book of Exodus, but just to get a brief description, the 10 plagues of Egypt in order are, this is ancient Egypt, Mizraim. It says water turning into blood, frogs, lice, flies, livestock, pestilence, boils. If you look at the boils, people of Mizraim, ancient Egypt, one of the plagues that they suffered was boils. And a lot of people are going to suffer that in modern day Egypt in this current period when they take this MOTB. It says here hail, which is natural, so-called natural disasters, locusts, darkness, and the killing of the firstborn children. So when the great day of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai comes, and the nuclear ICBMs start to destroy America and turn it into a lake of fire within 1 hour, all firstborn will be killed, as well as everybody else, apart from the elect in America. Everybody will be killed, apart from the chosen children, the elect of the chosen nation of Israel. So, firstborns will be killed in the great day of the Lord, and you're going to have darkness because the smoke and the dust from the nuclear ICBMs is going to block out the sunlight. Natural disasters, we're already seeing that, and pestilences, invasions, livestock pestilence, so say locusts, flies, frogs, and then you've got water turning into blood. So Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai hit ancient Egypt with plagues, and although America has been hit with plagues up until now, especially since 2020, 2021, we've pestilences and plagues have gone out and affecting America. But now we're in the time where Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is really turning up the heat. You've got these people letting in their masses, and they're creating a huge situation in America. Now, another thing with the people coming over the border, you've got a lot of people pointing out that a lot of men, and these are all military age men, and they must be coming for a particular reason. Society is going to break down. The elites are going to create this border crisis. They're letting in, millions of immigrants, and you have the financial crash. The financial system is going to crash at some point. So all this is going to create inflation, create anarchy within the country, and then you're going to have a lot of death, a lot of people losing their plot. Don't forget, this New World Order elites, not only do they have the plan to bring in the MOTB, they also have a plan to bring about depopulation. They want to reduce the population. So by bringing in soldiers from other countries and other lands, you've got Africans, military age men that are Africans, somehow walking over the border from Mexico. How do they know to fly from Africa to Mexico and then walk over the border? How do they know this? And they're coming in their thousands. Obviously, you have word of mouth, information spreads, but these neighborhoods in America are being filled with these illegal immigrants, and when society breaks down, there's going to be a lot of anarchy and a lot of distress, a lot of tribulation, and these people are going to be part of it. Now, I've spoken before of America being invaded by foreign soldiers, as the scriptures speak of. The Bible talks of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai sending in people to empty the land of America and fan it and blow away the chaff. Oh, yeah, it says it here actually, what I was just speaking of, Jeremiah 51:2, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So you're going to have people invading America, blowing away chaff, the unneeded, the unwanted. It says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up, as his up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. This is a commandment from Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. It says, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans. That's another name for the Americas. The Americans are also modern day Chaldeans with their witchcraft. It says, and they that are thrust through in the streets. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, of Yahweh of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. So at the minute you've got these small hats living in the land of Israel. And we went off initially, and now you've got these imposters living in our land who are also going off. 51:6 says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So, when we say 2024 is a hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, what we're actually telling you is 2024 is a hopeful year of Yahweh's vengeance. He's about to take revenge on America as well as all the people on the earth. It could, that final destruction could come in 2024 at the longer stretched, like we keep telling you, 2025 at best. 6, 12, 18 months. Jeremiah 51:7 says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Because all these nations took on the philosophies of America, they bought into it, they want that lifestyle, and now they're realizing what cost it comes at. And with that, this freedom is allowing your kids to change their genders. It's put drugs on the street, and it's put there's violence and cruelty is all out there, all through this democratic system and the philosophies that are pushed out by America. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. And so America can't be healed. You see the situation developing with the border. You've got Americans that are pissed. They don't understand that the elites are bringing about this change. Maybe they don't really realize that this is all man-made, order out of chaos. The elites are bringing chaos in order to bring a new order. So people are out there, they're trying to repair Babylon. They're putting up the barriers in the Texan border, and they're saying, no, we want to stop this coming in. And so what they're trying to do is take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. But you can't heal it, because this destruction is going to be orchestrated by these elites. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai put the spirit on them to do it. And like I say, it's all in aid of bringing out new order out of these elites. They think when they bring the chaos, they can bring a new order out of it. That's when Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai makes that visitation and says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So, if you're in America, and you're not part of this truth, you're not an Israelite, you don't call on Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, really, you should be fleeing America. You should be getting the hell out of there, because this thing could pop off at any time. But here it is, there's many people who come under that banner, and they're still there. Even people that have been in this truth once upon a time, they understood this truth, they were teaching it, they were speaking it, and now they've fallen out of the truth. Ultimately, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai does not want them in the truth and remove that spirit from them. So now here they are living in America, they've gone back to their normal lives, knowing what they know from the truth. You'd think they would flee America, but they don't. They stay there, and that shows you that they never really believed, they never really understood the scriptures in the first place. It says here, Yahweh have brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh, our power. And that's what we're doing. The elect represent Zion. And at the minute, 144,000 and so on and so forth are speaking and declaring the work of Yahweh, but our power. We're letting you know. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is in the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. So, revenge, Yahweh is taking revenge on America. It says here, the arrows, make bright the arrows, that represents the ICBMs. It says, Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, that represents Russia. And it is, with the lead of Russia, these other nations will follow and throw ICBMs onto the land of America. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes. So, America is going to be ambushed. It says, for Yahweh have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So this is really Yahweh's plan. It says here, prepare the ambushes. It says, verse 13, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. And thou dwellest on many waters represents the people. America is that great melting pot. And if you look at it on a physical level, obviously also it does sit on many waters, which is up until now has been a protection for America. It's difficult to attack America, so you've had to go overseas. But now with the technology, with the ICBMs, able to fly long distances across the planet, this is now the time for the destruction of America. It says, Yahweh of hosts have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So Yahweh of hosts, the Most High, have sworn by himself, saying, so he said, I'm going to do it. Surely I will fill thee with men. Who's this talking to? America, Babylon. I will fill thee with men. And that's why you're seeing military-age men coming across the border in their droves. It says, as with caterpillars. And when you have an invasion of caterpillars, you have a swarm. And that's how they're coming in. They're coming in their swarms. And they shall lift up a shout against thee. So when this civil war kicks off, the breakdown in society, you're going to have all these immigrants in America. They come from a harsh life. And they're seeing, these immigrants are walking into America today. And they're looking at you Americans. And they're going, well, these people look like they got money. Now, you may not think you have money, but they think you have money because you live a certain lifestyle. I've been to, for example, Jamaica, and they tell me I'm rich. And I'm like, why do you think I'm rich? Oh, because you're from England. You earn this much a year. I don't earn that. I earn this much. And I said, and then you try and explain to them, yeah, I earn this much a year, but I then have to pay for these things. I have to pay for a mortgage. I have to pay for these things. And the expense of those things pretty much leaves you with nothing in your pocket. So you're just the same as these other people. This is the beast system that we live under, but they can't see it. They see you in a decent house, an average but decent car, a decent job, decent set of clothes, and they see you as well off compared to them. So when it comes to this civil war, these swarms of immigrants, says here, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars. They're going to swarm in, these military age men. And when it comes to this civil war, they're going to rise up and they're going to take what they want. There's going to be a lot of killing, a lot of rape, a lot of murder, and general breakdown in society. Don't forget, the banking elites want to bring this in. And when the people are desperate, when they're looking for something, an answer, they will say, well, we have the answer. The answer is the MOTB. Everybody take this device under your skin. We'll be able to monitor any diseases, any pestilences. We'll be able to track everybody. So, we've got a breakdown in society. What's the best thing to do? Electronically tag everybody and know where everybody is at one time. So you can now stop the crime. And that electronic tag is going to be the device under the skin. Revelation chapter 13, the M-O to the T to the B. So, you're seeing this particular prophecy play out right before you. It says, He hath made the earth by his power, he hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heavens by his understanding. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapours to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightning with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. So we're talking about the Most High, the one that created the planet, the one that gave you the ecosystem, the reason why you're alive, the reason why you're a human being. What makes you a human being? The Most High made you. Your family, the things you love, the Most High put them there for you. You didn't choose to have a family. The Most High gave you a family. You could have tried your best to have a family, and it might not have never happened. And that would have been the Most High deciding that you cannot have a family. If you've got a big family, the Most High has decided that you can have that. And so this same power, the power of Israel, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, our power, is also coming to, destroy part of his creation, which is America, Babylon the Great. America was created as an example. All these captivities are created as examples as what not to be. But, back to verse 14 says, Yahweh of hosts have sworn by himself. So he's said, I've swear to myself I'm going to do this. And when you're in that mood, you don't want to change your mind. It's just saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars in the form of a swarm, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So that's what you're seeing. You're seeing military-aged men pouring into America across the border. And like I say, the banking elites are bringing about this particular incident. They want to bring chaos, but it's the Most High putting the spirit on them to think they can actually make this happen. Eventually, this is going to be the downfall of America. And, these banking elites, they've had all these agendas, throughout the history of their empire. And they've always, manipulated situations and brought order out of particular chaoses. They bring you disastrous situations, they make them happen, and then they force a new order out of it. And this time, this MOTB is going to be one step too far. So I hope that's edifying. I'm going to leave it right there. Until next time, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakar Kwadash. And until next time, Shalom.